review this game. Caro-Kann, knight f3, knight c6, bishop d3. So yeah, this is quite good. Knight f6. Actually, we can also play bishop to g4 to pin the knight in being active. Knight f6 is also good. c3, bishop g4. So now bishop g4 is less effective than the previous position because the d4 pawn is very solid. But bishop g4 is still something we can make. Otherwise, after e6, our bishop will be trapped, will be stuck behind our pawn chain. So bishop g4 is good. h3, bishop h5, castle, and e6. Black has built a very solid pawn structure. Bishop f4, bishop d6 of an exchange. This is good. Knight d4, and this is Carlsbad pawn structure. A very typical structure where white should find some way to move the knight to e5, and black should launch minority attack at the queen side. Castle, rook e1, and rook c8. Actually, rook b8 is better because eventually we should push the b pawn. Otherwise, if you only have a rook at c5, we cannot break through because this is semi-open and the c3 pawn is quite solid. So we should push the b pawn to b4, and after exchange, the c pawn will become backward and weak. So rook fc8, rook c1, and from white's perspective, I think white should attack on the king side because white have a great bishop, and also the knight can move to e5. Not right now, but for example, we move rook to king to a5, a4, and then knight e5, knight f3. So we should control the e5 square. g4. Well, this is a little risky. And knight e5. Okay, white find out a way to move knight e5, but there's something a little bit concerning. That is the white king could be exposed. Queen e7. So from black's perspective, we should kick the knight away. And one solution could be knight d7. Is that something we can try? But of course, knight f3 is still take. If this knight takes, and if we take, pawn takes, and queen to maybe, move e7, and then to h4. These squares we can control, and we can attack white pieces, and our rook, double the rook, b5, b4. So black will be active because after pushing the g4 pawn, the h3 pawn, and also the dot squares are weak. So this is black can do to exchange the knight at center. So instead, black move knight e4. This is also a very good square to control. But the question is, how can we get rid of the e5 knight? King g2 takes take. We cannot push f6 because we'll lose g6. Queen f6, attack the. Okay, so knight to d6, rook to h1, knight to c4, offer exchange. Take. Yeah, I think black's better because black, as I said, can push the b pawn and attack c2, c3. But white doesn't have a clear target to aim at, and also look at the pawn. They are quite advanced, which means the white king is exposed. h4, queen to f4, h5. Okay, so I think we should close the h file. So for example, g5. I think it's something we can try. If h6. Compared to g6, even though the pawn moved to h7, I don't think that's a problem because the dot squares are all controlled by our pieces. We can move king to g7 and rook h7. I'm pretty sure we can win the pawn. If white move rook to h3, if white wants to protect the pawn, I think there will be a huge problem at this side. King to here, and lose this pawn, and take this c3. So white cannot do anything on h file if we close that. But if we don't close that, like in this game we play e5, I think our first of all our pawn structure will be like these two pawns will be isolated. Why don't we take the g6 pawn first? Take the pawn, rook e5. Okay, the d5 will be a weakness after e1. Yeah. So I think black should close the king side as much as possible, like g5. And remember, so if we can push the b pawn, this is something we can create a weakness on c3, and later queen e3, we can attack the c3. We need to break through the queen side. So push e5, we take this one, take another one, king f7. Now the black king become exposed, as same as the white king. Queen d6. We want to protect the pawn. Maybe rook e5 is better, because we can still remain our queen in the f4. Why don't we take the rook? And we can check. Maybe we can find something to do. King to f1, this is the only move after. If queen to g1, queen to g3, yeah, we can utilize something because of the exposed white king. And there is a discover attack. If white attack, we can. No, rook e7, white will lose the queen. King g1, offer exchange, and we can take b2 after like trading the queens. Yeah, so king g8 is a bit like I understand that black want to make the king safe, but the downside is after the exchange, first of all, white have isolated pawn, and also we cannot move rook to e2. You cannot attack the king. Rook c1, rook c5, rook e6. Okay, black's trying very hard to attack the king side. Check. Then we move g5, and then we can check, probably to get a draw. Oh, rook f6 is rook queen f2 can defend. Why does g5? So hopefully we can get a draw. Rook f5, we can move king to g7. Our pawn is still protected, and white cannot move the queen because queen h2, and rook f2, queen f3 is not a good move. White will lose the queen. So since the white queen is stuck here, like maybe d5, but I don't think white can do anything with the queen because queen h2. I think black can at least get a draw here. Oh, why don't we take the pawn? Okay, after trading the queens, I think white is better because white has up 2 pawns and connected pawns. This is super hard to defend. Okay, then we don't have to work through the rest of the game. I think from black's perspective, I think like g5 is something we should consider. We should keep the king side as close as possible. Yeah, attacking on the king side is also make our pawn like it's a little bit exposed, and also the h file open to the white rooks. And from white perspective, I think g4 is a little bit risky. So if we want to solve the knight, if we want to solve the pin, we can move queen to a4 and then knight e5. This is good. This is better than push the pawn to g4. And that's it.